Today I'm doing a persuasive speech on gun rights. So according to the Second Amendment, the Constitution gives us the right to a militia and the right for each citizen to bear arms. And in my opinion, I believe each citizen does have the right to bear arms. So I believe that Americans should be able to have firearms in their homes for protection or to be able to carry them with them to protect others if necessary. It's just a precaution we have, and it's been in our Constitution for 300 plus years now. So it's something that we all should have the right for, and I don't believe in the banning of guns necessarily, but I do also believe in more strong background checks, and that they should sift deeper into people's past and mental illnesses, possible connections with them, and things that can deter them from owning a weapon that can lead to mass shooting or homicide, suicide, any of the factors. This should be screened more extensively in order for people to buy and purchase weapons and own them. However, they should definitely be able to own them because it is a right of each citizen in the United States of America. So some statistics from 2016 so far in the first 7 months of the year. There have been 30,000 shootings, 7,500 deaths. What is the reason for this? Mental illness, terrorist affiliation, it's people that are not properly using gun safety that they should all be taught before they own and operate a weapon. 88 out of every 100 Americans own weapons. And about 35% of males in America own weapons and 12% of females. So that's a lot of guns already there, and these people already have their guns and their rights, and they utilize them. And every once in a while, guns are sold to people that shouldn't have them, and then there's those that do have them, and they help protect others time and time again. Also, it's already difficult to get a concealed carry permit. It varies from state to state. Some places you have to be a resident of the state. Other places it's good for several states. Some places it's virtually impossible unless you're law enforcement to get a concealed carry weapon.
What's Maryland's? Because we reside in Maryland, so I'm just kind of curious.
So Maryland's right now is you have to be a resident for one, but you can't just be a resident and go get a concealed carry permit. You have to be a law enforcement or have a necessary reason to have a concealed carry permit. For right now, the process to purchase guns is you fill out one form with information, yes or no, to mental screening for background information, like whether or not you have mental illnesses, whether or not you've had this condition, this condition, this condition. You put your address, your current state, your license number, your name, your social security number, and they run that through their systems, and in about a week, you're able to pick up your gun, and that's all that the process is right now. So I think there should be more controls implemented to regulate who is capable of purchasing firearms, because everybody has the right, yes, but some people don't have the stability or just the gun safety knowledge to care and own weapons. So in conclusions, every American does have the right to own it, but some should not. You usually know whether or not you should before you go try to purchase a weapon. A lot of people have the intent to hurt people, but with proper gun control and proper gun safety, then any American that wants to own a gun should and can and will be able to. So if you have any questions?
So, I am from Connecticut, so naturally Sandy Hook is something near and dear to my heart. In addition to the gun control measures of having a background check that could have possibly, most likely, prevented such a massacre to occur, what about controlling the type of guns to be sold, or the type of guns that Americans can access, like that high-powered, the AR, the AK, the big guns that we hear about that people want to not have access to anymore?
So first off, regardless of what type of gun it is, it's only legal to purchase semi-automatic rifles, which means it's one shot at a time. So I could pull the trigger just as fast on a pistol as I can on an assault rifle. It doesn't make a difference, for one. Just because a military-style weapon doesn't mean that that's its purpose. Most gun owners that own AR-15s and AK-47s and any of those use them for sport to do competitions and gun stuff like that, and that's the whole purpose of them. But you're right, it is limited for some people, so there could potentially be more strict security checks on certain weapons over other weapons, but it should still be available to the public because it's our right to own weapons.
So what about in the case of personal sale, where someone just goes to some guy on the street and buys a gun legally? What do you do in that case for a background check?
You can't just sell it to somebody on the street legally.
You can in some states.
Then it's not legal, though.
All right.
In order to sell a gun legally, you have to bring it into a place where there are registered firearm,
They have to be a
a
registered.
federal firearm
Yeah.
licensee, and they have to do the transaction for them and run the 7-day check also.
Okay.
And in addition to the fact that that's the legal way of doing it, in some states, I know Maryland specific because I purchased weapons here, each gun that they shoot, they file a ballistics report on the first ammunition round ran through the barrel, and they keep that on record with who the owner and the purchaser of that weapon is.
So, question. A lot of people that suggest we should implement background checks, there are some critics that also suggest that doing so would violate their Second Amendment. How would you go about arguing that?
You already have to do a background check. It's already part of the process. I'm not saying do a completely different background check. It's already part of the process. Just screen the background checks more extensively.
Oh, because right now it's only
Because right now it's
screening the
basically looking through them, making sure your criminal record is clean, done, on to the next one. That's the extent of it now. You already are required to do the background check as of now, just to screen them more extensively and make sure they carefully vet each person that they allow to purchase a firearm is what should be done.